Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelpline.org.au.
Simon told Helen wins a half length. Zach Benelli second.
Welcome to Greyhound Gossip.
Peaky Blinders start cheering for Tommy Shelby wins the WA Sprint Championship final.
Featuring Peter O'Neill and Leah Ernest.
Mozza moves up to Mermaid Manelli. Fab's Gem 3 deep. Here comes Fab's Gem.
Hard stole Rico by 5 lengths to Simon told Helen. Third Tommy Shelby.
This segment is dedicated to the discussion and promotion of greyhound racing.
Cindy's Oliver, Rockstar Patriot, Paul Stewart, back-to-back with Rockstar Patriot in the Galaxy.
Handsome Prince, a bolder clear. The former Tasmanian Handsome Prince has won the $1 million chase.
And a very good morning, everyone, and welcome along to... Very good morning, everyone, and welcome along to Greyhound Gossip, a big weekend of greyhound racing over the weekend with the Great Western on Friday night at Mandurah and heats of the Paradise Street at Cannington on Saturday. First of all, on Friday night, West on Hazy for Kelly Buckwell, who's recently taken over the care of this greyhound, was impressive, winning in the opening heat, defeating Brand New Me. The second heat, all over Carly, was too good for Sudden Rain. And then we saw Gold Ranger defeat Ultimate Command and Mohican Mistress for Max Julian win the final heat over Delphini. West on Hazy has come up with box number 1 in the final. Mohican Mistress has drawn well in 2. Delphini, 3. Sudden Rain, 4. Ultimate Command, 5. All over Carly in 6. Brand New Me, 7. Gold Ranger, 8. Zeke and all over Karja are the 2 reserves. Then on Saturday night at Cannington, we had the running of the Paradise Street Trophy heats, and Corporal Kuna upset Couch Surfer in the opening heat. We also saw Quick Smart defeat Corborn Roses in heat number 2, and then Nangar Chief for Shayne Williams was successful over Clifton Cruz, giving Michael Johnson a couple of runners through to the final. The box draw and also the market with Tab Touch. Corporal Kuna drawing box 1 currently at $5.50. Columbus Manelli $10. Nangar Chief $5.50. Corborn Roses $13. Superman Keeping is $13. Couch Surfer favourite still at $3.20, even though beaten in his heat on Saturday night. Clifton Cruz $8. Quick Smart $5. Crypto Manelli is $10, the first reserve, and Speed Freak, second reserve, currently at $13. So that was the feature final of the heats, at least on Saturday night at Cannington with the Paradise Street Trophy, and there's been some outstanding chasers that have won the Paradise Street over the years, named after one of the great stayers of West Australian greyhound racing. Of course, Paradise Street has been able to be inducted into the Railway Hall of Fame, represented Western Australia on a number of occasions, and this race that was originally the Spring Gift was won a couple of times by another Hall of Famer in Afro Freeway back in 1982. And since then, some of the stars of WA staying ranks, including Billy the Duck, has won this race. Head Seen in Geneva, a Group 1 winner. Ron Ray Dancer and Electra. Also, Blue Lorien was successful in this race. Western Augie won it a couple of times back in 18-19 and then went on to win a national sprint final. Stout Manelli and Amplified was successful last year. Let's head across before we'll come back and have a look at the Paradise Street Trophy a little bit later on. Hopefully we'll be able to get Chris Halse online, but we're going across to Queensland and joining up with John Brasch because it's an exciting time for the Queensland Carnival, which continues on. We're getting closer to that $1 million race, the Brisbane Cup, coming up in a couple of weeks, but all eyes are heading back to Albion Park on Thursday night after a wonderful night last Thursday night, and we saw some more Sandgropers successful. John Brasch joins us. How are you, Bunny?
Peter, good morning to you and good morning to your listeners.
It was a big weekend, wasn't it? Last Thursday night, with some very good runs in the State of Origin series. What was the atmosphere like on course?
It was electric, Peter. A very, very successful night. This Origin is building to something that we really didn't expect when it first started out. They put it to New South Wales. They weren't really interested in actually running the series, Peter, at the start, and it's just grown in stature as part of the Queensland Greyhound Winter Carnival over the last few years, and we have the footballers involved. Terry Hill is the coach for New South Wales, Ben Hannant, the coach for the Queenslanders, and they come along and sign autographs, and particularly Terry Hill. He is one that really promotes greyhound racing, and he really got what it was worth yesterday because we had the Strait of Origin at Capella Bar, and Terry actually owned the winner in Shall Not, who collected $40,000 for owner Terry Hill and trainer Darren Sultana yesterday. So not only as a promoter, but Terry got involved as an owner yesterday, and he was at Capella, and it was a very, very successful day again there yesterday. But going back to Thursday night, we had the $100,000 distance race, we had the $100,000 sprint race, and then it came down to a $60,000 match race. New South Wales won the first one with Palawa King. Magistrate won the sprint, and then it came down to the match race, and Queenslander J as J for Selena Zammit was successful there, and Queensland won the Series 2-1 this year to retain the Shield. But as I said, New South Wales got some money back from us yesterday with Shall Not winning that sprint race up the straight at Capella. So the Origin Greyhound Series has really, really come of age, and they really look forward to that each and every year now.
Do you notice the crowd get involved, from Queensland, New South Wales point of view, cheering for their respective greyhounds when it comes down to, the final leg?
Yes, Peter, they were dressed in their maroons and their blues coming along to Albion Park, and even the club put up prizes for the best dressed person and things like that. So it was really, really well promoted.
You must love having the West Australians over there, and we'll still claim to own Panama Pepper, even though he's been purchased by interstate rivals now. But another very good win for Panama Pepper, who's firmed in the Brisbane Cup market. And as I mentioned, Rip and Grace was successful again, and probably, in my opinion, might be biased here, Bunny. Not that I'm ever biased, but a little bit unlucky not being able to make the this series on Thursday night.
Yeah, they were both very impressive,
superstars.
Particularly Panama Pepper. I liked the way he deviated over onto the inside up underneath the runner from box number 4, and he just raced away over the final part to score. And, been very impressed with Rip and Grace and her couple of 600-metre runs. So I think that might have just been the edge, even though she was impressive. She hadn't been over the 700 yet in Queensland. I know she has there in the WA area, but yes, very unlucky not to make that race this coming Thursday night, the fourth Dog Stayers Invitational, and that is an invitational run, a race invited by the club, and we had the 4 runners announced earlier on Friday, but unfortunately we've lost quarter out of the race already, and Days of Thunder, the local greyhound, now goes into the field together with Sorority, who now makes the first reserve.
Who do you see winning that race? And on quarter, will that rule him out of the Queensland Cup? Because I think he was $12 with Tab Touch, probably second or third favourite for the Queensland Cup coming up in July.
I'm not exactly sure what the reason is. Quarter has come out of that race on Thursday night, but we'll have to check on that to see if he can still progress through the carnival. But I've been very impressed with Palawa King, and I just think that he might be able to, in the small field, deviate his way through the runners there on Thursday night, and I think he might be very, very hard to beat.
Okay, Rip and Grace currently $21 for the Cup coming up in a couple of weeks' time, and I know Shayne Williams, speaking to him over the weekend, he will trial the Greyhound, I believe, in between races on Thursday night and then straight into the heats the following week. The Brisbane Cup, we mentioned Panama Pepper. We saw some really quick times. J is J, currently the favourite with Tab Touch and Amron Boy, both at $8. Victor Damien, 10. Alpha Zulu and Kelsey Bale at $12. Gee, you've got some classy greyhounds, as you'd expect, with the rich prize money on offer in Queensland at the moment.
Well, we saw one trial yesterday, Peter, over the 395 at Albion Park. The Jason Thompson now prepared Postman Pat, the former New Zealand greyhound, who's now trained in Victoria by Jason Thompson and is undefeated in Victoria since joining the Thompson Kennel. And Jason flew him up, and Tony Brett's the caretaker trainer for Jason Thompson's team while in Queensland. And he went first look 22.26 yesterday afternoon before the race meeting. The track record at Albion Park for that journey is 22.16. So he's gone a tenth outside of the track record at his first look, but over the 395. So he basically has to run this Thursday night in a prelude, because part of the Brisbane Cup this year is they must have had a run at Albion Park over 520 metres or more. So this is the last chance to have a look at Albion Park before the heats on Thursday week. So we will be looking forward to seeing him amongst the nominations, I'm sure, when they're released later today.
And we'll see the Perth Cup winner in Elite Machine up there as well. And the other greyhound that'll be heading across after his impressive win on the weekend, of course, was, I'm just trying to think of, Electrified, of course. Yes, Electrified, who defeated Elite Machine a couple of weeks ago, and Crystal Shinners will be heading across, or sending Electrified across for the Brisbane Cup heats the following week.
Yeah, well, both of those have already had a run around Albion Park, so they won't need to go in a prelude on Thursday night. But, yeah, really looking forward to seeing it. As you say, Pete, they're coming from far and wide. That dangling carrot of $1 million has certainly brought our carnival up to a very elite level this year, and there's been some great racing so far, and I'm sure there's going to be great racing continuing over the next couple of weeks.
All right, are you enjoying the prize money? Does it put any extra pressure on yourself?
Not me personally, but getting to Brisbane Cup and Queensland Cup night, there will be a few nerves there.
Good on you, mate. Looking forward to your calls, and looking forward to having a couple of Sandgropers hopefully win again on Thursday night. Love it when you mention the Sandgropers.
I'll do my best for you.
Good on you. So John Brasch joining us, and looking forward to the carnival continuing up there in Brisbane. We, of course, have got greyhound racing today coming up from Northern, and later on in the week, of course, the final of the Great Western, and also we have got the final of the Paradise Street Trophy. And I mentioned earlier on that the market for the Paradise Street Trophy has Couchsurfer currently the favourite at $3.20. A greyhound who's right in the market is Nangar Chief, and Shayne Williams has been good enough to join us to talk about this greyhound, who will be going second up over the 715 metres into the Paradise Street Trophy, and was a brilliant all-the-way victor there on Saturday night. Shayne, thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Pete. How are you?
Yeah, going very well. I appreciate you being able to come straight on when we got you off the bench. Nangar Chief was a really smart winner going all the way on Saturday night. You must have been really impressed with his first up efforts. Were you always expecting him to be able to get a strong 600?
Yeah, when I bought the dog, just asked a few people in Sydney. Sorry, that dog's whinging. I just asked a few people in Sydney on, his record and his strength. And actually, Shane Stiff, who I train a lot of the keeping dogs for, he said he's screaming out for 600. So obviously we got him here and give him a few runs over the 500. I've just seen that race come up, so just sort of elected to wait for that. And yeah, he went real good. He got a bit tired, but I think he'll improve a heap off that next week.
Drawn well, box number 3, a greyhound that certainly has got the early speed to be able to be prominent early. We are expecting him to strip fitter on Saturday night in the final.
Yeah, I think so. It was a really cold night, Pete. I think the track got a bit heavy as the races went on as well, but probably not a bad draw for him. The Chili Man's dog in 1 is the key to the race, I think. It likes to use a bit of the track, so we probably need to come out in front of that and then pinch a bit of a break on all the field. It's a really good field, but it's probably anyone can win it, I say. But, yeah, he's pulled up really well, and, yeah, looking forward to it. And then his main aim, he'll be going to Darwin for the Cup after this. So we'll spend a month in Darwin and try and bring home that Cup too, Pete.
Okay, what's the prize money up there? So it's good prize money in the Group 3 now, Paradise Street Trophy on Saturday. What's the prize money in Darwin?
They got a Darwin Cup's 25 to the winner, but there's a lead-up race as well, the Chief Ministers, which is 15, so to the winner. So basically, yeah, it's heat final. So obviously you're not going to be, well, you hope you are, but you're not going to be lucky enough to win both of them. But if you can pick up a bit of prize money along the way, it helps pay the trip. But I booked 2 crates, so I just don't know what other dog I'm going to take yet. Just got a new dog from Queensland, owned by Richie Bell and Jason Lincoln. He might be heading that way as well, but we'll just play it by ear. We'll just see how they're going closer to the time.
Rich Link, was he going to be? Did he come across for the Paradise Street Trophy?
Yeah, come across. It all got a bit too late because it was a last-minute decision and he wasn't vaccinated, so he couldn't go in the heats, unfortunately. But yeah, but he originally did come over for Darwin Cup, and But I do want to give him a couple of starts here before we go to Darwin. So he's only been here a week or so. So he's settling in, and, we'll trial him on Thursday and see how he goes.
Can you explain to our listeners, we had the problem during the Sandgroper with a few Eastern States greyhounds not being able to come across because of the vaccination. I thought it was an Australia-wide rule that greyhounds had to be vaccinated.
Yeah, well, that's the annoying part, Pete, because I spoke to Tom in Brisbane, and their vaccination rule doesn't begin until October this year. So they haven't had it for 2 years like we've had, and that's what I assumed as well. It was Australia-wide, so they don't have that sort of problem. But I think it might be in everywhere from October. I think Queensland might be the last to bring it in. I know New South Wales have it. I think Adelaide have it. And I think even Victoria have it. But, you have to have a C5 vaccination every 12 months for the dogs to be eligible to race. And then after they have the vaccination, there's a 5-day stand down, which you can't race. It used to be 7, but they've changed it back to 5, which is good. So you can sort of get it done on Monday and race on Saturday, which is good.
All right, big week for you, of course. Rip and Grace, I mentioned to John Brasch, who I spoke to a few minutes ago, that Rip and Grace won't be running this week, but certainly is loving the Queensland conditions, winning at her only 2 starts, and you go straight into the staying feature. How do you expect her to go over that?
Yeah, I was a bit disappointed she didn't get in the Super Stars. I mean, we auditioned her in front of the selectors there, but she wasn't good enough to get in. I just thought that would have been a really good race. Being a 4-dog field, you wouldn't think there'd be much sort of interference. Would have been just a good hit out for the Cup, but wasn't good enough. So I didn't want to race her this week in an 8-dog field because obviously her confidence is sky high at the moment, and I didn't really want to dent that going into the Queensland Cup heat. So the club been pretty good there. They let you trial between races, which is good. You can have a finish on or whatever you want. So that's been pretty good. So she'll just have a box-to-box out of the 700 on Thursday, and then the feature the following week. And, look, Tom and Jetta have done a great job with her, Pete. She's sort of taken the Albion like a duck to water, and as long as nothing goes wrong between now and the heat, I really think she's a good chance, hopefully, of qualifying. I want to get up there to see Boom Crash Opera, so I hope she makes it.
Good on you. Good luck over this week, and good luck in the Paradise Street Trophy final.
Cheers, Pete. See you, mate.
Thanks for joining us. Shayne Williams joining us, and we're about to hopefully be joined by Chris Halse, who is about to come online to talk about his couple of runners in the Paradise Street Trophy final. As I mentioned, chasing today up at Northern, and the first race there due to get underway of 12 at 1:16. Big weekend, a big week of greyhound racing ahead of us as well, and we're not too far away from the Nationals coming up. I've always wondered, why people would go up north because it got cold in the winter, and I could never understand why people did that. And now that I'm getting older, I can really understand why they do. Not saying that's for our next guest, but Chris Halse, who's only a young guy at heart, he joins us. What's it like getting up? As I say, good morning to you, Chris. What's it like getting up on these cold mornings and going out to work the dogs?
To be honest, Pete, I don't have a problem with it. If early to go to work or get early to go fishing, one of the two. That's my motto. So, I don't have a problem with it. It's just something you do, and, it just sort of becomes part of your DNA of training animals, I suppose. It's quite a simple equation.
Do you have to do anything different on the colder mornings with the greyhounds themselves before they do, their track gallops? Do you have to warm their muscles up at all, like you would with a human? And just explain to our listeners what you would do if so.
How we gallop the dogs here, we've got a couple of properties together, and the straight tracks on the other side of another property. Is that they get let out a small feed, and then they get walked over to the straight track. So they get walked for say five or so minutes to the straight track, so they get warmed up that way, and then they have their gallop and they walk back as well, and then we wash their feet through a bath and put them away.
Beautiful. What did you make of Couch Surfer's return to WA, chasing on Saturday night, running second behind Corporal Kerner in the opening heat of the Paradise Street? Yeah,
really good run. Real happy with him. He'd been home for a couple of weeks, and we haven't trialled him, hadn't done anything with him, and freshed him right up. And then we was humming and ahhing whether to trial him because we've been going around on obviously different lure systems, and ours is so quiet here now. So we just sort of under and we thought, he's been around a few times, and just hopefully just put the miles in his legs up the straight track, and then give him a walk on the Thursday and put him in. So I was real happy with the run. They run time, which is the main thing, and even looked like he needed more ground even first up. So hopefully a bit more improvement at box manners this week, and then hopefully goes on and does the job.
All right, so you're expecting improvement from him, and you would have been wrapped with a run of Quick Smart 34.87 from box number 7, getting across and really building a good repertoire and resume over this 600 metres now. Yeah,
look, he's quite a funny dog, actually. He's a handful to handle, do anything you do, and then complete opposite the couch surfer. But no, I don't know where the boxman is coming out from now, but it's good. And before he looked like he was going to be a dog that'd probably just run home, but now he's going to the front and needs to hang on over 600. It's you'd rather him that way any day of the week. You always make more money with him that way. So he's going along really nice, and he'll probably go close to leading again next week if he does what he's been doing each week.
Is there much between him and Couch Surfer, in your opinion?
Yeah. The Couch Surfer's a lot quicker dog than he is, yeah.
Okay, so you're expecting him. He deserves to be the favourite at $3.20 then?
Is Couch Surfer favourite, is he?
He is at the moment, yes.
Yeah, now look, he's if you put him one out, he'd probably beat him good half dozen or so, I'd say, over 600. So, which is a big margin, one out. So, yeah, obviously being in front, you make your own luck a bit. So, Couch Surfer will just need luck from boxer eyes and trying to find the fence more than anything else.
Okay, can I tap into the leading trainer's brain and your thought process behind King Tommy stepping up over the 600 metres? And we saw Flying Frida the week before. They're young pups, then yet to turn 2 years of age, don't turn 2 until August, and we don't normally see that. Is it because of the fact that you're trying to get him onto the arm?
Yeah, they're very quick, and they're very silly dogs, and they're pretty highly strung. And they just probably need to grow up a bit, like you just mentioned, with their age. And but the idea is if you can get them coming out and land on the arm, they can probably get more confidence. Many years ago, I worked with a dog called Billy the Duck, ended up being a Greyhound of the Year, and we stepped him up to the 600, and he won a few, and end up being a really good dog, just for getting his confidence going to the front, because he just had lost his confidence. So that's always stuck in the back of our heads. And look, if you can get them going to the front, they sort of and get a bit of confidence out of it. And that's basically what why I reckon Quick Smart's going better than 600. He's actually been on the pace over the 500 and we put him back. Is it plus a couple of finish on nights at Cannington has helped him out no end. So, but no, the thinking behind King Tommy that is that they look strong. Obviously, his first start out in boxes, he missed a kick, so look, he should run out 600 pretty easily. And if we can get him onto the arm a bit, and plus separating the dogs and novices as well. So there's a few reasons why they like that, and you've got to keep them going. So just one of those things.
It's a learning curve for them, isn't it? When is normally the age where it actually clicks for a greyhound, that you sort of think, the penny's dropped, or are all different, all greyhounds different?
Everyone's different, yeah. Like, you sort of got a rough idea when you've had dogs long enough, you like to think you know where they're at certain stages, and it'll remind you of a dog you've had in the past, and you think, you go back to the tricks you did with it. And, it's just, it don't always work. It's just one of those things. You've got to sort of experimental, really, but you've got a rough idea where they're at, what they are, and how dumb they are, or how smart they are. And some can be too smart, some can be dumb. And Quick Jaguar was the dumbest dog I reckon I had, actually. So, but that's life, It's just you've got to work them out and experiment, and then hopefully you work out how they are, and then they go on to be better dogs.
These Tommy Shelby pups that you've got, they look very good chasers, though.
Yeah, no, they are. They're mad. They're real good chasers, actually. I like them a lot. I think, big rap on the Tommy Shelbys, actually. So just hopefully they keep going forward for us.
All right, there's some really good novices going around at the moment. We'll see. Excited to see King Tommy go around next Saturday night. Enjoy the week, Chris, and try and stay warm. And you've obviously got another fishing trip coming up soon.
I'll go whenever I can.
Good on you,
Cheers,
mate.
Pete.
Enjoy the day. So Chris Halse joining us, and Saturday night we have the final of the Paradise Street Trophy. Of course, Chris and Linda trained the Greyhound with success right the way around the country. Big 12 race program today at Northam. First race there getting underway at 1:16. We'll take a break, come back with race day after this.